Hi everybody and welcome back to the painting channel. Today we're going to go all the way over to Etosha in Africa, a place very close to my heart. So let's roll the intro and let's see how we get on. Hi everybody and welcome back. As I said at the start, we're going to go all the way over to Africa for today's tutorial. Now for me, Africa is a place very close to my heart. I've been a wildlife artist pretty much all my career, and Africa has been the center of all, or pretty much all, the images that I've created over the many years that I've been painting. And I just wanted to go back to a place that I really do love, and that is Etosha in Namibia, and I fancied doing a couple of ostrich for you today. Now we're going to be using several techniques in this one. We're going to be actually using some washes, a little bit of layering. We're going to be definitely using some masking fluid and maybe a bit of splatter and some salt as well, all thrown in to see what happens. So without further ado, let's get on. Let's see what happens. Now here we are with our ostrich. It did take a bit of drawing and sketching, so there's a few eraser marks where you can see I got it wrong. But essentially we are there to go, and I felt that it would be a very long video if I went through the whole drawing process for you. So I've done the drawing ahead of time. What I wanted to suggest is also that I'm going to be doing some masking on this. So without further ado, let's mask this up, and for that I'm going to be using some Pebeo. And let's just start. And all I want to do is protect the white paper around where some of these beautiful feathers are. And the reason I want to use this stick is that I can become quite it can be very liberally put on, but very sort of haphazardly put on, not like brushing it on. Done. Now for those of you who are going to have a go at this one in due course and need the reference, you will find that as always over on my Patreon. It's there, it's free to download. You do not need to be a patron to do that, and you can actually download it and have a go at this. And there is a page on Facebook that you can upload your versions of this tutorial to, and indeed any other of my tutorials in before and in the future. So don't worry about that. You just do it your version and put it up there. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what happens. So anyway, but what I will say, while you're over there on the Patreon, why not check it out? There is so much over there on there now. There are so many videos, full time, fully narrated, and you get to interact with me, with others through a private Facebook page, a group of dedicated for all the patrons involved, and you get exclusives, all sorts of things happening. But it really is a lot of fun, and it doesn't cost you an awful lot. Okay everybody, well the masking has pretty much dried off. Whilst off air I did clean up quite a bit of the graphite, not all of it, but just enough. It was a little heavy, and you do get quite a bit of a build up when you're doing a lot of drawing. Anyway, brush wise, what are we using? Well, I'm going to be doing some washes, and I'm going to be using the Escoda. This is the number 18 Aquario, which is the Spookvik signature brush. Quite a nice brush, I like that. And I've got several. I've got a nice Rosemary Company. This is a filbert, I believe. No, it's not. It's a dagger. What am I thinking? And a 1/2 inch brush. This is a certain type of brush where certain bristles are chopped out. I'm not using it. People sort of sell these and use these for trees and things and foliage. But I tend to use this wherever I feel it might be needed. And I think I can get away with a bit of texture with that today. I have a couple of small brushes, and of course I've got my rigger. So the first one we're going to be mixing up will be some yellow ochre, a little bit of raw sienna into that, on quite a lovely, exciting, bright colour. But they are only washes. We're not going too heavy with pigment. A little bit of cadmium yellow into that, just to freshen up that colour like that. Now that's my first colour. It's a bit like weak tea. Okay, so for our second wash, and we do have to make sure that the first one is out of the brush before we don't want to contaminate them. So for our second one, we're going to come in with some lovely Ultramarine Violet colour. Look how beautiful that is. Add as much as you can in there because we have a large area to cover. Brush, so I'm going to use this mop. Just going to take some of that through there, dampen it, let it run down. Now my palette is, or my paper is positioned probably about 30 degrees, just on 28-30 degrees of an angle, and so hopefully that will allow my wash to run down. Lovely burnt sienna into my yellowish mix. I want to bring that through here. So we're starting to get to the foreground. We've come past the middle ground and we're bringing that on through now. And we're going to adjust what we're seeing, making it a little warmer. Even a bit of that Venetian red, just to pop in a little bit of light in there. Coming back quickly with some of the blue. Through there. Do I want any other deeper colors on here in blues? I think I will. I'm going to come in here with some lovely ultramarine blue, thicken up the paint now because we've got this wash on here. I don't want the paint to be too fluid because it's just going to make awful cauliflowers. So just make sure that your paint is not got so much water involved that it causes a problem. And I'm just going to pick up some of this color that this sort of brownier blue color. I just want to push it through here. It's giving me a slightly different look to the whole thing. Dry brushing across, beautiful. I like that because what it's doing is it's picking up on some of the colors and causing effects of rocks or stones out there. All that sort of information that's going on. I don't want to get it too brown because there's a lot of brown in the birds. So what I might do is just take some of that out, lift some of that back, soften that effect ever so slightly. So I'm going to come in, I've got a bit of a dirtier mix now going on in here, a bit more of the sienna. It's got a little bit of blue contamination from the brush, not a big deal. I just want to come through with a warmer statement here into this area around the bottom of the feet, making it somewhat darker. And I want to put in some more of that yellow, a little bit creamier solution, not so wet. Just bring that through, nice strong statement up into those areas around the feet and around behind there. What I'm also going to do is tap off a little bit, as I did up here. It's quite a nice idea. You sort of blot it in places and you really erase some of the hard edges, and you can't quite see where the paint is starting and stopping them. Okay, I'm going to put that through there, and I'm going to bring a bit of dark up. I want to put a bit more of that violet into this mix now. Losing a little bit of that lovely fresh violet colour. I'm going to bring that into there. Run that all the way through there. Okay, I like that. That's good. And that still leaves that nice bit of orangey colour that goes on up to that next bit of blue. There we go. I'm just going to, I think, lift out a little bit of their leg. Just take that out with that brush, a little bit of the foot there on that one, and just leave that alone. But what I will do is I'm going to said I was going to put a little bit of salt on. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. A little bit of table salt, sprinkle it on. Now you don't really want to do this when it's too wet, because all it will do is dissolve the salt. What you do need to do is wait for it to be fairly dry, and a little bit of the glisten off of the paper. And I think we didn't get too heavy with the water, so I think we can actually put some of this on. And I'm going to sprinkle that on in places. And whilst everything else is drying off, then I can actually watch this develop and then brush the whole thing off and carry on painting in afterwards. There we are. All right, I'm going to leave that to dry up before I ramble on too much. I'll come back and talk about the rest of it, and then we'll clean off everything and carry on with the painting. Okay, that's the salt done. Now be careful when you're taking this off. Try either do it with a proper, there are rubbers or razors out there that you can use for that job, but I'm going to be doing it with a piece of paper tissue, and to that end, hopefully it will come off without tearing into the paper. And this is why you really must allow your paper to dry thoroughly before you do anything to it. Okay, what am I going to be doing now? Well, we're going to start working on the birds themselves. So I'm using smaller brushes, 2 small rounds, and my rigger. And we're going to get on now, and I'm first and foremost going to be using some of this colour that we were using earlier on the wash. And I'm going to add to that a little bit more ultramarine blue, and I'm going to come in with a bit of the Indian red just to colour that down and take that away from the blue, making a very dirty violet colour. I want to come in here and I want to suggest our bird's neck. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to start literally almost a dry brush. Quite a bit of paint to water ratio, as you can see. I'm going to add in a little bit of blue to that, making it slightly blacker where this is in the shadowy effects or shadowy areas of our bird's wing. And our leg could be a little bluer, and it's a blue violet. So let's come in with some of this blue violet mix we had. Now it's slightly thicker paint, and put a little bit of cobalt there. I don't want it as violet as it suggests. But you can see how these wings, these darks, sort of really working in some of this sort of feather material. A little bit of dark up into there. Cool color, that lovely blue color, just picking out in some of them. Not all of them. We're going to use the same color now, a little bit more blue, maybe a little bit more violet into that, a little more water, so we don't have such a strong color. Just run that out into some of these shapes here, where you're getting those beautiful shadowy effects down in there. And I'm just going to suggest that, let that sort of mingle, just pull that paint down into that sort of space there, something like that. A little bit around here, a little bit more blue in there, just pick that out. And leave that bit out there. Great. Just take that up through there, tap that bit off. Just want a suggestion of the warmth in the leg. Very, very pinky red legs. So we're going to bring that in now, especially the males. When they're in breeding season, they do get very, the skin color does alter, and they get this sort of very reddish color to their legs. The wing, the top of the wing, because he's folded it right the way over. Bring that all the way down through there. And here we've got to have quite sharp edges, but they don't end, they're not smooth, they're all jaggedy. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the brush tip down, using the belly of the brush and almost printing these lovely little shapes and forms around to create the edges of the very, very fine feathers. And we're almost going to be repeating everything we've done in the first one. I'm going to pick up I picked up a bit of neutral tint, not a problem. Bit of sepia in there. Little bit of maybe indigo in there. But we want a lot more warmth than we need blue. So let's just come back in there and just check where we're going here. And let's be actually, I'm going to come in first and foremost, I think, with some lovely ultramarine blue. Not cobalt blue, sorry. A little bit of cobalt, a little bit of that violet colour, which is ultramarine violet at the end of the day. And I love cobalt blue. And I sort of look at the colour, I think that's violet. No, actually it's more blue. But there's got that lovely violet in the leg. So here, I just want to put some of that lovely shadow colour in the white feathers that are actually on this bird. So I'm going to bring some of those through there like that. Alright, I'm going to come in and I need to get the head colour in. A little bit of that colour this time, a little bit of there, blue, and almost a touch of Phthalo cyanin blue. It's going to turn it quite green, but I think it needs a little bit of that in there. Let's just take that down through there. Now we've got that lovely warm influence, and underneath also the rump area. And leave that through there. Just give that a little bit more influence, a little bit more warmth. Take that through there. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to tap in the eyes. We've got the eye there. lovely little feathery bits on here. I'm just going to suggest some. This is when you get guilty of working too far in. You should stop. When you feel yourself doing something like that, just stop, back off. Because the essence of the painting is done. We don't need to keep at it and keep working on it to put all the very fine details of the feathers in. They are there and they're suggesting what they need to, and that's all we need. And a little bit stronger blue, just coming up the back of this area here on the muscle, right there. Slacking that off with it's a little too dark. There we are. That's all it needs. Okay, so that's all done. The birds are done. Where are we going to go with this now? Well, I feel that what we could do is do some splatter and some extra work into this foreground and make it a little more interesting than what we've got. So I'm going to put a mask over. I'm just using some kitchen towel, just gently over some of the areas so I do not splatter areas that I really don't want to be affected. We're going to add in a few darker ones here. This is a great technique for pebbles on a beach. All sorts of bits and pieces you can add in. Okay, so we've got some lovely blue ones. Why not? Let's add some lovely strong orangey ones. So let's come in, let's mix up some of that orange that we've been using, the transparent Pyrrol orange, and let's just add in some warmer splats. That really does make a difference because we've got cool and warm in varying degrees. None of it is controlled to that degree. So we are just having some fun now. I think that really sort of goes with the idea of the running, kicking up some dust. I could have lifted out, and I had thought about lifting out some of the area around here. I might just even do that in a moment. See if I can without disturbing the paint too much and causing a problem that I might regret. But there we are. Now let's make some really splashy, splashy ones. Now these are going to run a little bit, cause all sorts of other problems if I'm not careful. Be a little bit more controlling with these. There's a lot more water involved in with those. More water in with these ones. Let's just play around with it. And where some of them touch each other, they may even start to spread a little bit. I had the idea of literally lifting off some of the paint around the back of the leg here. And now you can't see it in this photo, but sometimes when you do these, you get the light coming this way, you get a bit of a glow in the dust. Now this could be the big mistake and the wrecking of my painting. I really hope it's not. I just wanted to suggest that the bird has created a patch of dust where it's sort of running in. Just add in a little bit more in through here, just a little bit more information up into there because the back looked a little too rounded. Needs a little bit more dark up through here, coming up into those feathers at that point. I think that works better. Mix the gouache in a separate pot if you're going to do this. Take a bit of gouache and clean your brush. Pick a bit of blue out. Mix that in, a bit more gouache, and make a soft white paint, but a little bit cooler, a little bit bluer. Just want to try, if I can, to bring those little suggestions of the quills of these feathers into there. really in danger of doing too much, and this is what you've got to be careful of. There we go. I'm just going to sign it off now, and I'm going to put my signature down here out the way. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I had a whole heap of fun painting these two ostriches from Etosha in Namibia, and I do hope you enjoyed the process too. We used several techniques as I have explained, and I do hope that you'll nip on over to my Patreon and download the reference and have a go at this one yourselves. Now, if you do that, then don't forget to stick it up on the Painting with Paul Apps page over on Facebook. Love to see it, and others love to see it, and everyone interacts with everybody, so it's well worth getting involved with that. And if you want even more, if you're still learning to paint and you want to reach out and get a lot more help, then why don't you consider my Patreon? While you're over there downloading the reference to this or any other of my tutorials, then look around. There are over 130 videos there now, fully narrated, full length, and also many of them are now becoming a very exclusive content for just my patrons to enjoy. But you can get involved from $3 up to $14, where you get absolutely everything on offer. And that also includes a very private Patreon community over on Facebook as well, dedicated just for you guys who are in the Patreon to upload, ask questions, interact with me and with each other. So there is so much to get from my Patreon, so it's well worth taking a look, and I'd love to invite you, or at least have you join and become my latest patron. That would be awesome. But in the meantime, whatever you're doing, whatever, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this content and other videos of mine, then please give it a thumbs up. It really does help it grow. It tells the YouTube algorithm that I am a channel worth supporting, worth helping out and pushing forward. And when you do interact with my channel like that and support it, then you are helping me reach so many more people who, like you, wish to learn to paint but haven't actually found my channel yet. So by doing that, by liking it, by thumbs up and sharing and adding comments, all these things really do help it grow. And you'll be doing me a big favor. And also subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, you know what I'm going to say, click that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny to do that, and it really, again, it does help the channel grow. So you'd be doing me, the channel, and so many other people a big favor, and thank you in advance. Before I go rambling on too much, I'm just going to let you guys get on, and I'll catch each and every one of you in the next video. Wherever you are, stay safe, enjoy your painting, have lots of fun doing it. That's what it's about. Take care. Catch you all in the next one. Bye bye. Back to the painting channel. Today I'm going to no Africa. So let's roll that intro and let's see what. No, that was all right. Painting channel, and today I am going to go to Africa. No, well, could do, love to. Flick, all these sort of things and a bit of splatter. So let's see what happens. No, that was awful. Come my latest patron, that'd be fantastic. In the meantime, oh hello puppy. When you want to go out, my dog. Right, let's start that again. Can you lay down for another? Oh, you want to go out? All right, come on then. Yourselves, please get involved and have a do it. Have a do it. Have a do it. Do it. I think that's a wrap.